Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2 Awakening, where I'm sure some of you are already saying, hey, this is not my beautiful save, how did I get here? Here's the thing. I irresponsibly left the save games out on the counter unwrapped over the weekend and they went bad. Now, I have no idea what happened, but for some reason the game crashes when I try to load the last couple of saves from the game that we were playing last week, and I can't fix it. I verified files, I re-downloaded the game, I did a fresh reinstall. Nothing works. I'm able to load the saves from earlier in the game, and I considered just starting, at turn 60 or whatever, and playing forward, trying to replicate the decisions and create a similar position to run the game from there, but then I figured, well, that save might not work either, who knows what's going on, and I might have to redo that process for every episode for the rest of that game. So I'm making an executive decision here. We're just going to start a new one. I think we saw sort of the arc of the Nakalim. We have some idea of how to play them now. We understand their mechanics a little bit better. I was really hoping we were going to get to trade a system over to the Academy to see what the tide looks like, but we'll just focus on getting that done as early as possible in this game. And we have some ideas now for how we might better take advantage of our technological head start. I'm hoping that our superior early game military technology, because we have the first couple of ranks of module upgrades and stuff, will allow us to bully the other players early. We need to get the militarist party to win 2 elections in order to get access to the law that generates a bunch of dust and science from destroying enemy ships, and I think we want to try to make that the centerpiece of our knowledge economy. So let's see if we can pull that off. I'm hoping that the early game military advantage will let us be real mean to our neighbors in a way that will get us that law by turn 40 would be a really cool time. So if we want to try to make that happen, we have to manipulate the political situation a little bit. We have to intentionally generate militarist political sympathy, which is not a super hard thing to do. So if we take a quick look here, I can't remember if it says on here. It doesn't really. It doesn't really say on here what kinds of things generate it. Obviously, generating any kind of military sympathy is also going to give us religious. So our government's probably going to end up religious militarist. That's fine. That actually works pretty well for what we're doing. I don't think we... Oh, right, you can't run any laws on the first turn anymore. It used to be the case that there was no cost to initiate a law, but okay, we'll come back. We'll come back in a couple of turns. I guess next turn when we have 10 influence and have a look at what we might want to run there. So as far as generating militarist political support goes, one thing we can do is research military technologies, but of course it's going to be, you can see here, when we mouse over it, it does say political impact militarist. Unfortunately, it takes so long to research everything that we might not be able to generate any support by doing this in time for it to matter. But building ships, everything you build has some kind of military support attached to it. You can see this gives you science support, building a scout ship. This gives you militarist. Anything that is combat focused, of course, will give you militarist support. That said, we certainly can't start that way. We have other things that we need to do first. So we pulled a pretty high industry start. Not a lot of food to be had until we grab Altair 4, which we definitely want to do early, because it also has strategic resources that we can mine right away, thanks to our starting technologies. Actually, this is a pretty good start. I'm excited about this. We do only have one curiosity to explore here, so let's go ahead and do that. I think if we just do this with this fleet selected, it'll use... Yeah, okay, it used the correct probe. What have we found? We found a source of adamantium. Okay. That's actually really nice to have adamantium in your starting system. We should probably give our heroes' ships some additional engines. That's just not even the right button for that. There we go. Okay, so... Yeah, just basic normal engine. And we'll throw that probe on there as well. Alright. It's going to be a very similar start to the last one. So one of the scout ships goes in this direction, one of the scout ships goes in that direction, and let's just see what we find. Hopefully some relics. Also, if our knowledge economy is based on fighting, then we can afford to move more of our relics over to other things, which I think is worth looking at. We should also take a quick look. So we got a dual galaxy here with a little bridge in the middle. In my experience, the systems that are in the bridge part are usually pretty great, so we should probably make sure one of our scouts is headed in that direction. Can we see the details for our constellation yet? No, I don't have access to that. Yeah, we don't have access to that zoom information yet. I think we have to see more systems first. I'm just curious what our constellation bonus is. Alright. So, what do we want to do here? Do we actually want to start by researching military technology? So we could get access to some slightly better weapons. We could go for something like survival suits, which gives access to not just some support modules, but also a new set of battle tactics for us. Or we could try to go for an unusual strategy. Like, we could pick up deep space personnel and try to do a boarding pod thing. Boarding pods, you fire your manpower at the enemy ship as a weapon, and your manpower goes over there and fights their manpower. I like the boarding pod strategy a lot if you can get it going. And what's the other module this gives us access to? Additional manpower and people who can fight enemy boarding pods. I kind of want to do this. I think let's... Does that go first, though? I guess we have a lot of the basics already, right? Autonomous materials first is definitely interesting. Like, the wormholes give you access to a lot of other enemies, a lot of other people to fight and loot. I think I do want autonomous materials first. Just like wormholes right off the bat seems so good. Although, right off the bat is maybe strong considering how long it's going to take us to finish our first thing. Now, let's try the boarding pods. Let's go for something really weird here. So we've got our hero assigned. We've got no resources to put laws in place. I think we're good for the first turn. And so a conquest victory is probably the thing that we're thinking about here. Oh, we've discovered a unique world. This lushly forested world was once a major center of the Endless. Oddly, it was a center both of medical research and of entertainment. For it was here that the avian race called the Hisho were first modified to be more effective warriors, and then trained to provide blood sport spectacles for bored audiences. The wealth brought by the broadcast was rolled back into the research facilities, and some to the Hisho themselves. My guess is a pretty low percentage. Who knows how long this media symbiosis might have gone on, had a virtual attack not destroyed the infrastructure and cut the Hisho free to forge their own destiny. Which they seem pretty eager to have done, I think somewhat backing up my suspicion that they were not receiving a fair share of the pay. Alright, well, let's see here. Let's hit both of the subterranean ones. See what strategic resources this planet might hide. Okay, it's got antimatter, and we also found a fancier laser design. And 29 DPS is not bad. Especially at this point in the game. And Pisces 2 over here has microfactories. Okay, that's interesting. So Psychagogia is a very high food output world. This would be a great place to set up early. We should try to get a colony ship out here as soon as possible. And then I think we'll probably fly away, even though that we're leaving anomalies here, or curiosities rather. We'll fly away and come back later. Because I don't want to just sit here while my probes regenerate. We have too much exploration to do at this point in the game. So maybe that means that Altair should just produce a colony ship immediately, and we can colonize Altair 4 afterward. This is maybe a little faster than I would ordinarily do a colony ship, but having Psychagogia right on your doorstep seems like a thing you ought to take advantage of. Oh, we should also check and see what is the population boost resource for us this game. So this game, the Nakalim are on Jadonix and the Zermisala are on Redsang. So things to keep an eye out for. Alright, what do we got over here? We have 3 probes with which to explore 4 things. Okay, I guess it Probably doesn't matter too much which things we explore. And here we will probably hang out and just generate the one extra probe, because I think it'll actually, it might even be next turn. We might not have to wait. But here we're generating XP for our hero. Okay, Aurora Waves is actually a pretty good anomaly for us, considering that we're not getting the science off the world anyway. And the Life Pods Away battle tactic allows us to send manpower home from ships that are dying. That's fine. So we're going to have to talk a little bit more about what manpower does in ships. And here I think I'm going to take... I'm pretty torn between Prophetic Power and Optimal Operations Expert still. I think let's take the Prophetic Power. Approval boosts, especially in the early game when you don't have a lot of sources of approval, are pretty useful. But a ship has a certain amount of manpower on it, right? And we've talked about, like, that's how you get manpower down onto planets, is the ships deliver their manpower as an assault force. Another thing that manpower does that we didn't talk about is it gives a damage bonus to your ships. A ship that is fully crewed just does more damage. As far as I know, it's plus 15% or 20% damage if the ship has absolutely full crew. And then you lose that bonus completely if even 1 point of crew is missing. It's not like it scales down linearly with the amount of crew or anything. So, a boarding pod strategy, or just a strategy where you're using weapons that kill the people inside the ship at all, is very powerful for robbing enemy ships of their damage bonus immediately at the beginning of combat, so that they're fighting worse the whole time. We may as well probe something. We have a probe left. There's a lot of stuff to explore over here, but I'm really hoping that we're going to find a relic. Now, let's just keep moving. And you guys did, in fact, generate the other probe, and then I zoomed in too far, and I got this thing playing. Alright, get that, and then go ahead and leave. We've discovered another anomaly. Cyberflora. Oh, you know, robot plants. This planet is just covered with robot plants. Also 150 dust, which I am pretty happy to see. Alright, we have enough influence to run some laws now. So, did Altair 4 have any anomalies? It doesn't. In fact, none of the planets in our home system have anomalies. So we don't want to run that ecologist law. But species stability is fine. So, when we're talking about a conquest victory, that means we have to own a certain number of systems. And it's a fairly large number. In our case, it will be 32. But remember that any systems that we pass over to the Academy still count as ours for the purposes of conquest. So I'm thinking part of the way that we'll control the approval issues that you run into when trying to win a conquest victory is that we'll be handing a lot of stuff over, which means that the population bonus that we get for capping out our collection is maybe going to be really good. So I think we're inclined to want to generate a lot of Nakalim, which is to say, I think species stability is pretty good for us. And it's not even costing us that much influence. Oh, actually, that's right. We have some planetary specializations unlocked from the very beginning, although not the one I want, which is industry. I guess we'll leave this planet unspecialized for now. Let's generate that colony ship as quickly as possible. So I'm looking for clustered systems, places where the systems are close enough together that we could reasonably set down on one, generate an influence bubble, and then use that to give the other one over to the Academy. It is probably worth noting, though, that when we did this last time, or when we were running trade routes last time, the Academy did block our trade routes, so we have to be a little bit careful about how we do this so that we have the ability to run trading companies if we want to. Guess you can just keep moving because you have no probes. We might need to upgrade our scout ships with more probe capability, because we have a lot of curiosities very densely packed over here. Also, I think this time we know that it's really valuable to get our faction quest going quickly. Usually, it is usually not the case that these choices branch off very much. Generally speaking, like it might lead to different steps during Chapter 1, but Chapter 2 I think will be the same no matter which way we go. So I think we should still get to that same like get 6 relics as a quest reward thing pretty quickly. I think we're going to take Rise Up over Build Up this time, just because we're in a really good place to be able to investigate a lot of curiosities in the near future. And it seems like you would generate food improvements really quickly, especially given that I do prioritize food improvements. But we sure didn't last time, right? Like, it took forever because we were doing so many things all at once at the beginning of the game. Aha! Okay, well that's very promising. 4 planets with curiosities. Yeah, there's a total of 5 curiosities and a relic there. That is just wonderful. And we actually have a fair amount of money. Not enough to buy anything out, but enough to start heading in the direction of being able to buy things out. Like, actually, probably what I will do is we'll just remember that Cerebral Reality will be 619 to buy. I guess we could try to buy this instead. Oh, and this is pretty good because both of the planets we want to occupy are hot. 1.2k. We may not actually get to that. Alright, well, we'll buy out Cerebral Reality, maybe? Or maybe we won't, because what we actually want to do is buy out drones on the new planet. Yeah, I guess that's what our money is probably going to, is buying stuff out on the new planet. Because Psychagogia is a high food world, it's a little bit easier to build a colony on it, so we should be able to get this up really quickly. We'll have strategic resource income soon, which means we'll have the ability to build good weapons for our ships and stuff. I have hope here. I think this is a really cool start. Now all we need to do is find a neighbor to terrorize. We've discovered some dark glitter, which is kinda not very impressive. Dark glitter is, in my opinion, one of the worst resources in a system resource boost. It just adds a little bit of manpower and defense capacity, which is not really a problem generally. This is a solution in search of a reason to use it. But like Blue Cat Mold would be fine. I think we only get half of this boost, but still, that would be fine. Jade Onyx and Red Sang, however, are like premium level 2 modernization resources. Unfortunately, we don't actually know where any deposits of them are. What have we seen so far? Dark Glitter, we've seen Blue Cat Mold, and we've seen the Super Spuds, which are fine. They reduce buyout costs. I mean, we may end up on kind of a dust economy because our population type likes dust, so that might help us. Yeah, you know what? Just keep moving. We'll continue to explore curiosities. We have plenty of curiosities left to look at. And over here, we're just going to hit 4 of these real fast. Okay, good news. Apparently, this was a thing. I did not realize. So we have 75 Red Sang now. I do not want to use this in a system booster until we actually have some income of it. Well, maybe it's safe. With a tier 1 luxury, you can rely on it being pretty common in the galaxy, which means it might be the case that there's a lot of it available on the market. So maybe it would be okay to pop that into our system development right now. Obviously, the other thing we could do is boost the Zir Masala with it, but I don't want to do that right at this moment because Zir Masala can't breed anyway. Our Species Stability Act only lets our starting population increase. We could cancel it, I suppose, and pop the Zir Masala boost. Maybe that's the right thing to do. They give dust as well. We don't know what the Planet Pay Dirt Law is, but maybe this is a good time to learn. And their boost is nice. Yeah, alright. That's what I'm going to do. We'll just, we'll kill this. We'll kill our dust income a little bit. And what all did we find? We discovered... Oh! There's a source of red saying on Aquarius 2. Well, okay. That makes that probably a thing we should immediately start working with. Found even better lasers. These are actually very good. They impose an accuracy penalty on enemy ships. Those are great. What a good find. And another level up for Moya. This is going extremely well so far. So now that we know we have a source of red sang nearby, I am 100% comfortable making that our level 2 modernization thing and immediately applying it to Altair. Well, when I say immediately, let's finish colonizing the new planet first so we have some population space to use all this food in, and then we'll probably go ahead and throw it on Pisces immediately as well. We're going to be populous, extremely populous. If we do this, I can't remember if it locks the fleet entirely. Basically, I'm not sure if we're allowed to explore curiosities with a fleet that is gathering a relic, but I definitely think we should start gathering the relic. We may leave the hero in place there until that's done, even though his reassignment cooldown is going to be up pretty soon. There are some heroes where it's totally reasonable to just leave them as a fleet commander. I think we want to pull him back. He makes a pretty good governor. He won't end up being like your best governor forever, but he makes a good governor for a little while. Oh hey, it's a Hisho ship.
Hisho nation.
Okay, the good news is we now have a direction on an enemy that, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but frankly, nobody's gonna miss, really? If you go to war with the Hisho and if you go to war with other players, sometimes a third party will happen upon the war and will go, oh my god, look at that dude, he's a warmonger. If you kill the Hisho, everybody just sort of quietly applauds. Nobody wants to share a galaxy with those dudes. Yeah, we should definitely double the food income from this planet. I think that is a great use of our dust. Because this way, first of all, obviously, getting the colony up as early as possible is great. But also, it's good to limit the amount of time that Altair is sending food in this direction, because we need Altair also to be growing. And then we might, honestly, want to just build ourselves another petitioner, like, really early. I want to get our basic industry structure up. So maybe we do that before we send out the petitioner, but I want to get... Oh, man, they put a thing down on Aquarius 2. Okay, so you can see right now it says it's going to take forever to generate the thing, because we are currently blockading the system. Ordinarily, I try to shy away from blockading other people's systems in the very early game. Since I suspect we're going to be fighting this dude soon, I'm fine trying to starve him out. He's going to hate this, he's going to hate us for it, and I am okay with it. We're going to need more ships, though, like soon. Alright, and as much as I want to gather this relic, I think we should probably get to searching curiosities. Like we need to get the faction quest moving forward. So let's head back to ESO. We will grab this, but it's gonna be a sec. We found the blue cat mold. So we want to try to build some ships, and we'd like to try to build them pretty soon. Because again, I would love it if we could get the militarists in the first election. It may not happen. We may just not be able to pull that off. It might be the case that we have to get the militarists to win the turn 40 and 60 election, and only then can we get the huge science income. Obviously, that's later than I would like. We could save up some dust, though, just prior to the election, and then cheat. Use our powers to influence the voters. I think I'm just going to stay... Oh yeah, I'm definitely just going to stay put. I have no movement left. And over here, it does look like I'm not allowed to search this until the relic is gathered. I don't know how expensive the election actions are going to be. Okay, right now they're looking pretty cheap. So we just got to try to generate a little bit of militarist political support. which probably means building... Yeah, it probably means disrupting my current plan to build at least 1 or 2 military ships. And I probably don't want to give them fancier designs because doing so will just make them more expensive. Alright, we're going to try something. We're going to be aggressive here. We're going to build a squire, and we're going to try to force the militarist party in. I think this is the right move. I know it's slowing down our builds a little bit, which is not ideal, but first of all, these guys prefer to be on a fertile world, and secondly, like, we need the food. We need population. We might be trying too many things at once here. It is entirely possible. Alright, so we got our relic, which means we are going to go ahead and search this other thing. We discovered 50 influence. Okay, that's a cool piece of loot. So now we have to decide whether we want to pull the hero back immediately or whether we want to try to use him to bully this colony. How are they doing? This outpost has negative growth, but will become another Empire's colony in 2 turns? I mean, it says -1 food. I'm gonna keep our hero ship right here just to make it a little bit harder for the Isha to mess with us. Alright, well, I think we know approximately where they are. You're not going anywhere. Okay, this thing is happening. We will worry about that later. So one of the things that blockading the system like this, like being in defense mode on the system, is going to accomplish for us is it means that any food ships that they send over are going to have to stop here for a turn before they are allowed to actually hit Aquarius 3. And we'll be able to shoot them down.
Feel free to anger us.
It's true, we are a hair's breadth from war. He has no idea how right he is. We've discovered his home system, and hopefully it will soon be my system. Now, in the early game, it can be a little difficult to conquer a system, especially a built-up one, because of the way manpower works. We'll figure it out. Also, the Hisho do start with a behemoth. It's not a very good behemoth from a combat perspective. You can see there 36 attack power, but it is 12,000 health to get through. It can buy a lot of time for other ships to do their jobs, so I'm a little concerned about that. We'll figure it out. Okay, that expedition, in fact, did not find anything. So this aspirant can just stay here for 2 turns, and then we'll get the final search. Didn't it say 8 of 10 before? Maybe I had already clicked the thing by then? Well, once our outpost is finished, we can explore these 2 curiosities really quickly from the colony. That will also help us get there. Oh, right, and now we know where another player's planet is. We can do some hacking. Unfortunately, we don't have a very fast hacking path here. Let's go ahead and throw up an accelerator on the target node, and we may as well start running encryption back home. We have the bandwidth for it, after all. So Pisces is going to be a colony, it looks like maybe next turn? It turns into a colony naturally in 2 turns, but that food ship is going to kick it over. And yep, we did in fact starve out their colony. It was just not reporting things very well. Alright, we're building this. This will help us get the ships done faster. This is going to be 30 more points of industry on top of the 60 we already have, so that's a pretty significant bonus. And then we'll have 2 ships capable of pumping out, or 2 colonies capable of pumping out ships, rather. Go ahead and grab this. Oh, also there are pirates here, so I am running. I cannot run. Please run. Okay. I have to wait for the probe animation to finish. We discovered a battle tactic that lets us earn influence by killing enemies. Actually, probably very good for us. And here they have a scout ship. I mean, attacking this scout ship will generate for us some military political support, and we outnumber him. Are the aspirants? Okay, they are bullet ships, so we want to be short range. He also wants to be short range, which is a little bit of a shame. No big surprise. His scout is a way better fighter than mine is, but we have an advantage here. His scout's not a way better fighter. It's better, but not a huge amount. Okay, he stayed and fought. The Hisho have a weird mechanic that strongly disincentivizes retreat. If you're wondering why he did that, even though his ship was obviously going to die, he probably couldn't actually afford to do a retreat.
Feel free to anger us.
He demands that we stop, and I refuse. And refusing...
Suffer Tornazi's wrath.
Okay. Refusing to stop attacking his ships also generates military political support. This will increase our pressure on him. Doing everything in my power.
Free to anger us.
He responds by increasing his manpower generation, his defensive manpower generation, which is fine. We're not going to be invading any of his worlds in the next 10 turns anyway, so... Alright, Pisces is up. We are going to have a lot of... Okay, the pirates have access to hacking operations, which is annoying. Level 2 system modernization always costs 1 turn to build, no matter what. It doesn't have an industry cost, it just costs time, so it's a nice easy thing to do at the beginning of a new colony. We'll get those things in the queue. Down here we will complete the next step of our faction quests. Nope, never mind. Don't have a probe yet. Next turn we will complete the next step of our faction quest. And at this point, do we want to pull back our hero? Sort of? My answer to that is sort of. Here, let's shoot some probes out. We're just going to try to guess where the ends of these star lanes might be. Get some good information here. And I guess we have another probe, we may as well use it. Could I get... I probably will not be able to see what is at the end of that star lane, but let's try, because I don't have anything else to do with this thing. Yeah, that'll do for now. Got pirates incoming, which is annoying. How tough are these pirates? Prowler only has 32 attack and 67 defense, so actually... one of our scout ships could probably beat one of those. We have 1,500 health to his 2,000. Yeah, I think we probably would beat him. And we do also have an actual warship coming that will definitely beat him. The pirates aren't so bad before they outnumber you. Oh hey, we discovered a hidden asteroid field. Boy, that would sure be a nice thing to get inside of an influence bubble. Alright, the rumor of the Academy has begun, and we do still have some atmospheric curiosities available to explore. I was careful to explore around them and leave them in place so that we would be able to do this. Alright, we got another relic and our 60 mushrooms. Had I known that the galaxy was so rich, I would have awakened sooner. Alright, the Nakalim are grumpy when awakened from hibernation. Some fear we are exploring too far too fast. This is the same text as we got before. So assign a hero of at least level 5 to Pisces. We can do that. I mean, our hero now is level 3 3/4, so... that should happen pretty quickly, pretty naturally. Do I want to just hang out here? Is there another atmospheric curiosity? There is, yeah. So probably we just hang out here and keep exploring Shaddai for the moment. I want to stay in place to keep Aquarius held down until we get our own colony ship over here. So I think probably what we'll do is we'll keep the hero there until the Squire arrives, and then the hero can bounce and become governor of Pisces. Also, we discovered this planet has strange fossils, which is a pretty great anomaly. And also, recycle ships destroyed in battle. Listen, we're going to plan for none of our ships to get destroyed, alright? That's the move. Alright, so we have another military ship completed that should give us some more political support. Oh, hello, we've met the Riftborn.
Into your cosmos on a mission of survival.
We could attack them as well. Oh, never mind. That was a colony ship, and it has created an outpost. Boy, everybody thinks they're going to be able to take over Aquarius.
Place in the void awaits.
So the bad news is that the Riftborn are like robots, and they do not need food in the first place. So we cannot starve them off of that planet. I'm not actually sure how we're going to deal with that. Because I believe they're just building more Riftborn in order to colonize. Yeah, that's a real problem, actually. We are losing money rapidly. And I'm sure the cost of our political cheats has gone up as our population has gone up. So how do we want to deal with that? Because I would love to be able to put a little political pressure on. And we could get lucky and just find a bunch of dust in a curiosity. That does happen. Yeah, I'm not really sure what our move is here. So there's a screen somewhere. I apologize for not knowing this off the top of my head. There's an awful lot of screens. But there's a screen somewhere that shows all of your current political... I thought it was connected to the quest screen. Okay, this just shows active events. I think there's a screen somewhere that shows all of your current political support, but it might just be that screen that only shows it from active events. There's so many screens. There's so much information in this game. It's not on the change government screen. There are other types of governments that we could swap to if we wanted. I suppose jumping over to a democracy might be helpful because it gives you a third political party. So if we're confident that the militarists are in the top 3, this could help us keep that going. The Republic has better laws. They're just like 50% more effective. But there's something to be said for a reduction in law costs and also plus approval per citizen on systems when we have a really high food start. When you switch governments, I believe it triggers a brief period of political instability followed by an election. So maybe what we'll do is we'll stay a republic until after the election, then we'll swap to democracy to force another election, give ourselves another chance to get the correct political parties in. And we could run species stability for a little extra dust, but it would only be 20 dust per turn, so it'd get us very slightly positive for 2 turns before the election, which would not generate enough dust for us to be able to run primaries or anything. So I guess we're maybe just not going to be able to cheat here. Yeah, we don't have the money. Well, maybe we'll get lucky. Let's search this, search this thing. Show me good loot. Okay, we did not get good loot. We got 5 XP for that ship, and also, okay, knowledge of coral reefs on this planet. Coral reefs are pretty great. That does make me... Oh, hey, that did get us 200 dust because we completed this quest in first place. Apparently, we had explored 2, and I'm guessing, 3 other empires had explored 1 each. So that was a pretty good reward, actually, for this moment. No one is even sure of the origin of the being that founded the Academy, whether they are human, endless, alien, or some unknown form. See, this is interesting. This quest has always been in the game. So there was a time when this was true. At the beginning of a game, you knew nothing about the Academy. Now, they've slowly integrated the Academy into all the plots and stuff more and more over time. You get told that the Academy was founded by a Vodyani named Isyander really early in the quests now, so I wonder if there are some games where you get that information before you even see this. All stories agree, however, that any being touched by dust who finds that secretive place and survives its rigors emerges deeply changed and greatly enhanced. A visit, a word with the leader, an understanding of why the Academy exists and what purpose it serves. There are many mysteries surrounding the Academy, and claiming it is either a place of research into dust or a profitable business, profitable services business seems somehow a bit glib. Yeah, so the academy is somewhere. We have a guess now as to its location, and we can go and explore the systems where it might be. These three in this belt across the middle of the galaxy. We'll try to get out there. I don't know how successful we're going to be. We kind of have a lot on our plate already. And I'm going to be really bummed out if we can't get Aquarius, because I do want a source of Red Sang. Like I said before, we could just buy our Red Sang. It's probably not the end of the world, but I don't want to buy our Red Sang. I want to get it for free. Do we do this thing now in an attempt to make the money necessary for lobbying? Oh, you know what we could do to make the money? We have all these resources. We'll just sell stuff. Yeah, we'll have plenty of money. Never mind. Never mind, everything's fine. I forgot that we start with access to the marketplace, which is a thing that is not true of most races. Alright, so what have those probes have actually been pretty successful at revealing? There's a lot of unexplored curiosities out there. Also, a lot of sources of Red Sang. It appears to not be particularly rare. So I guess us not getting Aquarius is not the end of the world. It would still be inconvenient. The election is at the end of turn 20, so we don't need to sell our resources right now, but we may as well while I'm thinking about it. Let's reduce the chance of me forgetting. So we could afford to sell, like, a bunch of this stuff. And in fact, we can rush some buildings. I should be doing this a little bit more aggressively. What else do we want here? It's a temperate world. It's not fertile, but it still gets pretty good value out of Xeno-industrial infrastructure. And then we'll just sell some more stuff. How about 15 more of this, and then also, let's say, 20 of these? Alright, and that's got us way past lobbying. Do we want to... Let's see, is there a bonus for temperate? There's not. So we could go for the spin project here. We could use Pisces to get our influence over Gia, which I probably would not want to settle because it's not very good, and then pass Gia off to the academy. I suppose if we're going to do that, really the best way to do it would be to like colonize Pisces 3, which is not a very good world, and then turn it into a Temple of the Lost. So let's do that. Let's do exactly that. Actually, let's maybe get some stuff built first. That's going to take forever to accomplish. Do we want more food, or... This building is still good. It's better than I was giving it credit for. We should probably build that. Should I sell some more stuff and just buy that? We do have an awful lot of blue cap mold that we don't need. What if we sell a lot of blue cap mold? Use that money to bankroll this. And then also we can start building... We're at 53% approval here. So the infinite supermarkets are not going to take us over the... I believe the threshold for the next level of approval is 70. But, oh, actually, we're gonna send our hero back here as a governor soon, and his approval boost plus the supermarkets totally will get us where we're going. And then we can do the Pisces thing. We can still sell some more resources. Maybe I want to just make this all happen now. Oh, this stuff is crazy valuable. And there's nothing you can really do with 5 antimatter. That's not going to let us build cool ships or anything. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll just buy them both. And then still have plenty of money to cheat the election. Yeah. And then we'll start building one of these. What a good system we've constructed over there. Also, you need to... We can fly our colony ship out to Aquarius and try to just compete with them for it. If we manage to build up our outpost into a colony before they finish theirs, it will be ours, but I don't know if we can pull that off fast enough. If we had another large ship, if we had another large colony nearby where we could ship food fast enough, we could pull it off, but I think the food ships would arrive too slowly, maybe? Hold on, how many turns are we talking about? It's 5 turns just to get there. So we'll put down, and they'll still have 9 turns left on their outpost. We'll spend some resources to boost, and You know what? Maybe we could get it. We might be able to get it. Actually, can we upgrade the engines on this petitioner? You have an empty support slot. Why can I not? There we go. You do have an empty support slot. We could give you 6 Hyperium engines. What's the retrofit cost on that? Actually, extremely affordable. And that makes it really fast. Okay. We might be able to pull this off. We might still be able to get Aquarius and then use it, obviously, as the front in the war against the Hisho. And then after that, we can figure out exactly... The Riftborn are probably from over here somewhere, I'm guessing. And we'll figure out exactly what we intend to do with them later. Okay, we can definitely just... Oh, I was going to attack him, but he attacked me first. That's interesting. Does he feel... Okay, he's got some significantly increased defenses, although it's interesting to note that while attaching defense modules to this thing, they went entirely with energy-based defenses rather than projectile, despite the fact that all of my ships are projectile attackers. So, not really a great move. He did more damage this time. It's also feeding our hero free experience, which I do really appreciate. Alright, we can finish exploring this. We could go for that relic, even though that pirate ship is sitting on top of it, or that pirate base is sitting on top of it, if we just arrive right after they send out a new fleet. So maybe that's what I'll try to do.
For your deeds, a special place in the void awaits you.
Okay, they're warning me ahead of time that they're going to close their borders to me. It's not exactly a terrifying threat. An emissary from the Academy arrives, dressed formally. They only agree to speak or communicate... Yeah, okay, we've seen this quest. So investigate 10 new curiosities for the probe microfactory, which is fine. Or we could get that scavenge ram scoop, which I do like quite a bit. And this is not that hard to do. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that engine type. Okay, so we are going to throw in hard behind the militarists, providing a strong penalty to the other competitors. This is the hardest we can possibly cheat. All we have to do is get them into the top 2 here. Wow, that really worked. Keep in mind, the political survey is not always super accurate, and we did generate a fair amount of militarist support after the survey occurred. So it's possible we didn't need to cheat at all there. And apparently they won by so much that we got the Spoils of War Act right away. So see, I was expecting them to get like this amount of political XP, but... Okay, Spoils of War Act on turn 20. And that means that not only do we not need to switch to a democracy, but it actually might be harmful to the effectiveness of our plan for us to switch to a democracy, because right now we have a boosted version of the law. 12 turns. I mean, there's pretty good food output on both of these worlds. Can I can't get exact readouts. Okay, here we go. 9 from this one, 9 from that one. So they're both totally fine. 9468 versus 9846. Well, I think this is pretty clearly a winner. This is not where the resource deposit is, but we'll just expand over there and get it. Okay, so now it is a race. Our colony is going to be complete in 22 turns, but we can expend a little bit of manpower and steal supplies from the enemy colony. We can also pay dust to double the food output of our current colony, and we can double the effectiveness of food ships, but I don't think that makes sense to do, because I don't think any food ships are going to arrive in 7 turns. Right, it would be 2 turns before the next ship even leaves Pisces. Yeah, it's not going to get there, so it's not worth spending the resources. And let's go have a look at our laws. So we kept religious, which is whatever. So lower fleet costs and the Spoils of War Act. Honestly, we probably will end up running lower fleet costs, but right now we're not building any ships, so let's not bother with it for the moment. Yeah, that really worked out. We can tell these guys to stop attacking us, but I don't really see a reason.
Know that I like this word.
I mean, it gives me access to some... When they refuse to stop attacking us, it gives me access to some return options. Yeah, sure. Let's make the demand. We'll talk about singularities in a moment. Alright. They refuse, they increase their political pressure against us, and then we can either choose to prepare, so we could get plus 10% evasion on our ships on Aquarius, or we could increase our manpower, our defense growth. Let's take prepare. I know it doesn't generate the right kind of political support, but we don't care about that right now, because any political events we do right now will probably wear off before the next election occurs anyway. And Sigma has manipulated time on Aquarius. Oh, it looks like they removed it, though. It's no longer present. If the singularity was still here, you would see it. There's a large, unmissable graphics effect. But basically, one of the things that the Riftborn know how to do is manipulate time to a limited extent. So they can, like, speed up or slow down resource generation on a node, or affect the way ships move, and it's actually a really cool mechanical gimmick. They will mess with us. They do not like what I am doing here, and they will mess with us as a response, and we're just going to have to deal with that. So next turn the ship arrives, and at that point we can probably pull the hero back to Pisces. When he hits level 5, it'll complete this, and we'll have 3 good, powerful systems. How's that hack going? 6 turns until it arrives? No, that can't be the case. It's already here. It's 6 turns until it, yeah, it's a total. So it's 6 turns until the hack completes, under currently visible conditions. Alright, so what we need to do now is build warships and get in fights. Our economy is going to be very much combat-based. We are doing a great job of populating Altair, getting some good growth on the Zirmasala. Did our Zirmasala boost end? It totally did. Keep that running. So that's at this point, that's a fair amount of industry that we're talking about there. And then as we overflow Altair 4 back onto Sobra, we'll make sure that all the Zirmasala are living on Altair 4 so that we're getting access to all of that good industry. So at this point, we probably want to look into redesigning our ships. I didn't want to do this before because I didn't want it to take any longer to build the ship, but I gotta feel like we want to play with our fancy laser weapons. See, 34 DPS on this ship compared to the bullet weapons that we're using now that have 39, or the missile weapons we could use that have 61, but the missile weapons are counterable by bullet weapons, and they don't have that accuracy penalty, or the critical hit chance. It's an interesting dilemma. If we had found a fancy beam weapon, I would say let's go beams and bullets in combination. But lasers don't really play that well with the other weapon types since they are only really functional at medium range. I'm not sure what the best move is here. I mean, obviously it would be pretty great. What slots do we actually have access to? Okay, that's a versatile one. That's nice to see. So what, for right now, we don't have the RAM scoop yet, so there's no reason not to use a Hyperium engine. We have, how much Hyperium income per turn? We can't see it on this screen. Well, that's not a big deal. I guess we know that they've already teched their defenses in the direction of energy, which makes me wonder if they've also been skirmishing with someone else who has energy weapons. I guess we could just play with the decay torpedoes, but their ships are using bullets already. So a lot of our torpedoes would get accidentally shot down by the strategy they're currently employing. That kind of makes me want to go with the lasers as well, because we can start far away from them, and thus severely weaken the impact of their bullet weapons, and then just run our own projectile defenses. I think I like that design. And then as far as wardens go, run one of these. We do have access to the debris analyzer, which we might want to use, just like really go deep on the strategy. And then on these ships, we could use bullet weapons, so that if we do get to the point, if we do get to a place where they're dragging out the battles long enough to get into close range with us, we can fight back at close range. Just go double projectile defenses. I guess maybe that's not a good idea. We have to be wary of our ships that are drawing enemy attention being too heavily specialized so that they don't just switch to energy weapons and destroy our whole fleet. I kind of like this design, though, as a counterpart to the other thing that we're doing. So if we apply this, take a look at our battle tactics. Obviously, take trophies is not so good with that warden design, which is a little bit of a shame. We could run... Let's see, we could play Influential in place of Turtle, so this gives us access to medium and short, while still gaining us resources. And then... Hull plating penetration is maybe not a thing I want to be giving them. Maybe we leave them like this. That does mean that we only have one battle plan that has a short flotilla in it, and it's not even in the middle. I think I want to be running plasma distortion as well. Probably overpower the shields. We don't really have a lot of long range stuff. Alright, I think that's a reasonable set of tactics there. And now build me some new ships. We are going to war. What is our command point cap? 14? Okay, that's interesting. Let's merge the two fleets up and then pull the hero over to here. And our man here may very well end up... you don't need to be on that. Our man over here may very well end up being a fleet commander after this. We'll see. We definitely have the ability to change up his style if it needs changing up. So we'll keep nobody on Pisces 3 while we're converting it to a temple. Unique planets almost always have influence output, so we're already growing pretty quickly. Maybe we don't have to temple Pisces? But like, look at all the stuff around here. All the stuff that we probably don't even... I don't know that I want to own ESO, right? So like maybe we end up passing a bunch of stuff over to the Academy. Let's at least play with it. We'll try it. And now we have some kind of defenses over here. In 2 turns, they're going to generate a fleet, and then we're going to sneak in behind them and try to steal that relic. What else do we have over here? That's a shame. I was kind of hoping that was going to be Red Sang. I mean, we have our Red Sang deposit, I guess. I'm just not 100% confident that we'll be able to hold on to it forever. He's growing his initial population pretty quickly. I mean, that's going to happen. He has Red Sang on his home planet, so his level 2 system development, if he has it yet, is probably also the Red Sang food-based one. And we need to figure out our money situation just a little bit. I mean, there are definitely money buildings we could build. This is not amazing here because we have no luxuries at all, and that's also true on Pisces. Once Aquarius is up, Xenotourism will actually generate a lot of cash there. We could still run the species stability bill if we want. Oh, we should turn this on. We are now starting to build ships, so 20% reduction in ship costs actually matters. Yeah, we're gonna need the influence output from the temple a little bit too because of the more expensive law that we're gonna want to run as soon as we're doing actual combat with the Hisho here. Alright, I'm gonna start moving in this direction because I'm not gonna arrive until after the pirate ship spawns next turn anyway. And for the moment, I think we're just holding. Maybe I should put more engines on the combat ships. Because they're going to move, even with the Hyperion engine, it's still fairly slow. Yeah, 5 turns. Okay, that right there was briefly a singularity. For some reason, they put one down and immediately removed it again. It was a time slow singularity, so they're trying to reduce the rate at which we're generating food on Aquarius 1. Unsuccessfully, obviously. And Peregrine 5 has appeared. So let's run this as... take trophies, I think? So we could really use the dust. And obviously we don't want to start at short range. Yeah, influential doesn't make sense. This is the way we go. Okay, took almost no damage. Oh, I hit that button too early. I was not thinking. I was gonna wait until we had done all the other stuff on our turn and then move him forward so that the pirates would actually have time to leave. That said, 3267... Oh, he's just gonna lose. He's just gonna lose this fight. Yeah, make it a take trophies. He's a no, he's a medium range ship, so we actually want to start close if we can. Alright, we defeat him while taking actually a considerable amount of damage. The kind of amount of damage that makes me want to not be here when that pirate ship arrives. So let's leave. And we are going to have to deal with that pirate base. The last Empire trait says that you're allowed to... Oh, it doesn't say it here. I thought it said on the in the longer version of the tooltip on the new game screen that you were allowed to trade over neutral or other players' systems to the Academy. So it may be the case that we don't have to deal with the pirates. We can just get them in our influence bubble and then sell them to the Academy. I guess we'll find out.
Word for to die stabbing each other.
I'm gonna keep demanding that they halt attacks so that we keep getting this evasion buff refreshed. Help us hold on Aquarius unless they show up with an actual navy. And I think let's get to the point where the colony on Aquarius is actually finished before we end the episode. Once the colony on Aquarius is finished, we can not only build ships there, but we can retrofit our existing ships. We may as well search here before we head back. Alright, somebody wants to yell at me. Who could it be, I wonder? Oh no, it's actually Sigma. Oh, right. Right, they told us they were going to do that. I spaced a little bit. Alright, that's your move for the next couple of turns. We'll still get there in plenty of time to scoop the relic. And then once the temple is completed on Pisces, we have a decision to make about whether or not we actually want to put people in it. Or whether we want to hold off for a little while. Alright, our hack has successfully done the thing. Singularity placed and then immediately removed. I'm pretty sure that's not free, by the way. I think they're spending resources to do that. And you spend resources to build the singularity, but I think when you remove it post-placing, you might not get it back. My point is, I think they might be losing money here. Alright, so we've hacked them all. We can infiltrate. Grants vision on all their fleets for 10 turns and also gives a sleeper. This is a better hacking effect than we were seeing before because we're hacking their capital. We can cause anarchy and change the government of the other empire, forcing their politics to change to a selected political party of our choice. That's interesting. We can really screw up their fleet movement and also wound their hero. Wound, unfortunately, does not mean do enough damage to remove him from office. I think it just, it does like 50%. So you have to do it a couple of times in order for it to finish working. And support revolutionaries. Uses the population of the systems to spawn pirate invasion fleets. And forces them to use that bad ground battle play. We will definitely, by the way, be supporting revolutionaries as we actually get boots on the ground. For right now, my plan was to infiltrate their scanners, but I wonder if we should fiddle with their government first. Now let's go ahead and install a sleeper. I do so love to have vision of other people's stuff. So their system, or their planets are not very productive. They have a fair amount of food, but they haven't taken over Hamal 1 yet, probably because they don't have the tech. They're working on... Man, they're working on building up industry, and they are desperate for it. This is not even very good here. If we move quickly, we might be able to make something happen. We can also see all of their fleets. They have another scout with adjusted systems. Interestingly, this scout has moved all the way over to projectile defenses, so our next ship is going to be really good against him. Our current ships, less so. And they have a brood ship over here as well. They can't possibly be trying to colonize Aquarius, could they? I guess they haven't had vision of it. Oh, well, no, they had a ship over here a couple of turns ago. They should know that we're pretty close to finishing a colony. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's behind their decision-making. Maybe that guy's going somewhere else. But if he's going anywhere except Aquarius, the natural path would be through Lacerda. Yeah, I don't know. He also has food ships. It looks to me like that's the nose of that ship. Maybe I'm wrong. It must be. That must be the back, right? These have to be food ships that are leaving from Hamal going down to a colony over here. There's no way they could be coming back. I mean, maybe. Maybe these ships are bound for Osilo? Yeah, actually. They're coming from somewhere distant and going to Osilo or Gatria. He's really, he's trying to fast expand. He senses trouble, I think. But he just doesn't know what to do about it. Alright, what do we want to do here? We could just produce ships. But maybe what we want to do instead is... I mean, a food focus feels a little silly given how little territory there is here. Also, maybe we want to send a Zirmisala over to that system, just to try to produce some more Zirmisala. You know, we might have really kind of missed the boat on that one. Well, let's do it anyway. This system is level 2. We'll just send one of you guys over to Pisces. Okay, next birth is going to be another one. We'll try to get some Pisces population growth here. We did manage to get up to Happy, which is really nice. I think maybe the right move actually is military vessels. I don't know what else we would build here. It doesn't make a lot of sense to make xenotourism agencies on a system that's going to end up having like 6 population. Intergalactic supermarket should probably be built somewhere, but I don't know if it's here. And we might just want more ships. If I'm going to build ships, I should actually build shipyards, and in fact, that should have been the case over here as well. Could I buy out a shipyard? Do we have the resources to make that money? Oh man, titanium is at an excellent price right now. Okay, yeah, definitely an error on my part not completing this before building this guy. Oh yeah, new hack, right. Run the hack from... Oops. Sorry, run hack from Altair to Hamal. We're running a trace. It turns out the pirates are hacking us. No big surprise there. Yes, Hamal is the target. And throw down an accelerator. In theory, we could wait until the hack had just about reached Hamal and then put down the accelerator, and the advantage of doing it that way is that we're not spending the bandwidth until we absolutely have to. But first of all, we're not going to need the bandwidth for anything else, and secondly, I will not remember to do it. Come on, you all know me. We're getting pretty close to having those boarding pods available, in case we want to try that tactic. Okay, we see that the pirate fleet is not at Gia, the remaining pirate fleet. So let's go ahead and do this thing. I think we're about to get attacked at Aquarius again. Okay. For some reason I was thinking there was an unexplored curiosity.
A special place in the void awaits you.
It is time for conflict. Well, could it be time for conflict slightly later, do you think? Could you maybe just wait a little bit? I'm already getting into some conflict. I'm very busy is the thing. You know what? Cerebral reality is a fair amount of dust. Let's get one of those finished, and then I'm going to make some more guns. Let's just build more space guns. Alright, so we got population moving. Gia's hacking operation has been successfully traced, so we could just see what will happen. Probably not worth doing. I mean, we already know what the pirates are going to do, and it's not going to be any fun. So let's just kill this then. Please terminate the hack. How dare they? Alright, they are actually showing up as slightly weaker overall, but they're better adapted to our shenanigans. I think we want to just try to start as close as possible here. They're all they're all projectile defenses, so they don't even have any shields. This thing is not helpful. Maybe we do want to start to take trophies, because he's gonna pick a battle tactic that starts us at least medium anyway. Like, this is not actually moving us back probably, but we could use the science. Yeah, take a trophy. This poor aspirant, all it does is just sit here and absorb damage. Oh, interesting, he did pick close. Well, that's a terrible move on his part. That fleet left Iso. Probably it's headed back over here. At this point, though, I think we have enough health that we would just kill it if it attacked us. It's nice to have scout ships that are armed. Different factions have different starting loadouts for their ships. And in fact, the different ship modules between the factions even have like different slots available and stuff. So some of them are less good at dealing with pirates in the early game than others. We have colonized Aquarius. We have gotten to 10 Nakalim, which is going to not really help us very much. It's not a very good 10-point bonus. Fold you into this, and we can now do retrofits and stuff. Let's go ahead and upgrade the Squire. And then we could at this point send this aspirant off. He could be doing other things. I don't know exactly what other things, I guess. Oh, hello, who are you? Let's have him go... It probably doesn't help us too much to go deeper into Hisho space. We know what the Hisho are going to do, right? So yeah, maybe fly this way. Maybe fly directly this way. Oh, this Prowler is considerably better armed. 72, 157. He has way more health than we do. And we don't really have defensive modules. I think we probably lose this fight. We're just going to run. Alright, we may have to apply a little bit of actual pressure to get that. I don't think it helps us to know what this is before we can colonize that anyway, so I think at this point we're just generating ships for a little while. Alright, we successfully fled, and over here in Aquarius you can see that we have colonies on, we have colonized 2 of the planets. If you get into a situation like we were in there where you're outpost racing with somebody, whoever wins gets to keep the outpost that was built. And so we have access to Aquarius 4. We would never build anything on Aquarius 4 because it's garbage. But Aquarius 4 might make a really good Temple of the Lost, especially considering how close it is to all the Hisho stuff. So I think this is the way we're going to go on this. We should probably prioritize colonizing this ocean world as well. Not that I necessarily want to put people on it, although it is fine. But just because we want the Red Sang flowing in as quickly as possible. So, what do we have that we can sell right now? And we could sell off the rest of this stuff. We don't need dark glitter. We could probably sell all of the mushrooms too, actually. And as much as I want to get that Red Sang in, I think in the long term it's better to rush the drone networks, get that initial boost of resources, and then figure things out from there. Xeno-industrial infrastructure is going to be phenomenal here once we have Aquarius 2. What about our strategics? At this point, I should probably start actually saving the strategics to use them for ships, because we're going to need to actually fight. But I guess we don't need the titanium all that badly for that stuff. We could keep some of it. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is just get us to the point where we can have Aquarius 2's colony built. We can move this to the back of the queue. Yeah, Xeno-industrial infrastructure is going to be so powerful here. And that doesn't leave us with a ton of turns left on our bank, but we'll make some more money.
Die stabbing each other.
Do I want to bother telling him to halt his attacks again? Maybe not. At this point, we have enough of an economic advantage that maybe it's not worth feeding him the free pressure boost against us. Because you can see, we're only very slightly positive on pressure with him right now. And every time we feed him a little pressure boost, we're undoing the progress that we have made in the past. I don't know. We have some time now to consider exactly how we want to deal with him. We also have another neighbor that we need to meet. It seems like we were placed in a much tighter formation with the other players on this one, which is probably at least going to make our chosen strategy interesting. But I think that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry about the end of last game. If it makes you feel any better, I'll tell you, I think we were already past the point where the AI was incapable of defeating us. So we probably had already won that game. The AI in this game, I think the core issue with Endless Space 2's AI is not that the AI is bad, it's that the game is very complex. There's a lot of ways to get advantage over other players, and it's a little bit too much for the level of AI that we're able to build economically into strategy games at this point. Anyway, come back next time, tomorrow, to see how we deal with an early game move on the Hisho. They have that behemoth that's going to make things tricky, but I'm confident we can get through. And we'll see you then.